Greetings, my FNAF fanatics, and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be trying to solve the second FNAF movie's plot before release, and I'll even give some predictions and little theories. So sit back, relax, grab a can of your favorite Fizzy Fazz and Michael's buttered popcorn, and let's get started. So, we all know Jane supposedly died in the first film. Well, I used to think she survived, but that may have changed, because I genuinely think Mike moved into Jane's house. If you watch the trailer, you can see that Mike and Abby moved into a new house. And this may be a stretch, but if you look at the wallpaper and the way the house looks, it seems like one of those older houses that I could totally see Aunt Jane living in. Genuinely, I would find it really funny if the movie opens up to Mike at Jane's funeral. I believe that the film will follow the premise of the Twisted Ones. Just like the first film referenced the Silver Eyes, if you watch the trailers, you can see the toy animatronics going door to door killing people in the town. I believe, just like in the Twisted Ones, Mike and Vanessa are going to think Afton is still alive and controlling the toys. But they will find Afton's dead body in a suit and they will think the puppet is controlling the toys. But then it will be Freddy Carter's character. Cause maybe he feels he owes Charlie for something, or he's just evil. Or he could even be manipulated by Afton's influence. But with the animatronics going door to door, this reminds me of the Twisted Ones, where the Twisteds were going house to house killing people on a path to Charlie's house. Maybe the toys are on a path to the Afton house because they are after Vanessa. So, why are they after Vanessa, you may ask? Well, I believe Vanessa was there for Charlie's murder and feels guilt over it. Maybe she helped Afton or didn't know she was helping her father kill her best friend. Hell, maybe Afton killed Charlie not just because he's envious of Henry, but because he was also trying to teach Vanessa a lesson. So, I think Charlie is either trying to communicate with Vanessa or is out for revenge. So speaking of Vanessa's childhood and the guilt she felt from feeling responsible for Charlie's death, I believe Vanessa and Mike will talk about dream theory and he will help her conquer her dreams with dream theory. And she will fight the guilt from her past with her father in trying to stop Charlie's death from happening. She will use her dreams to try to go to the past, just like in the first film where Mike was using dream theory to fight the guilt of letting Garrett get kidnapped. So speaking of Charlie's death, how exactly does she die? Well, I think unlike the games, where she's locked outside the pizzeria and killed by William, I think she will notice her brother Sammy or even Michael and see the yellow rabbit at the door trying to lure the kid in. I think she is going to attempt to save him, but then she gets stabbed and William chases her out the hallway, but she manages to escape onto the stage where she carries the kid in her arms.
For those you have carried in your arms.
She then lets him off the stage where Afton pushes a button where Charlie drops to her death in front of the whole party of onlookers into a puppet box, killing her instantly. Now, what about Charlie's father? I believe after the death of Charlie, Emily, and the tragedy that happened in front of all the people at the party, there was a bad publicity. And with it being Henry's kid, Henry fell into a deep grief and depression and felt responsible for not being there. So he left the company, eventually having William take over till he learned of the MCI, and then he realized William Afton killed his daughter. I think Henry reported William, but he was left off the hook with no evidence, like in the novels. So, I believe script 3 is real, or the plushie script. So, In one of the recent trailers, you can see Mike and Vanessa at the pizzeria wearing dark clothing. I mentioned that script 3 was the real script in a previous video, you can check that out right here, but there was also a recent interview where they said that the plushies are a huge part of the plot.
This will help the ghost children.
This actually could be useful in our new film, even though it's a little small. That's all I can say.
So back when I mentioned the Twisted Ones, there was a moment where the Classics fight against the Twisted Ones. I think Scott will reference this. With the Classics and the Withers being Abby's friends, they will help Mike, Vanessa, and Abby fight against the toys. In the end, I would love this. This would be such a funny and freaking epic scene. I believe in this movie we may discover William's point of view, how and why he kidnapped Garrett. There is a scene in The Twisted Ones where Charlie is beating Afton up and screams at him and asks why he took Sammy, and Afton is like, "No, I did not take him. I took you." I think Afton could show up in the end as Springtrap, and Mike will beat Springtrap up and ask him angrily, "Why did you take Garrett?" And Afton will either explain why he took Garrett, or he will say, "I took you," which I would find really funny. Also, I still think Mike's mother dated William and had Mike with Mr. Schmidt. So speaking of Garrett, what was his fate anyway? Well, I made several videos on this if you want to check them out right here. But I basically think when William kidnapped Garrett, he either raised him as an evil son who became Freddy Carter's character, or he was put in a nightmare experiment room in the sister location bunker like Rory was in the Tales of the Pizzaplex story Dinophobia. If the second option happened, I think it would make a great way to set up a future FNAF 4 movie, with the movie being Garrett's point of view fighting off the nightmares. I mentioned this in the last video, but I believe Vanessa has a secret brother, and it's Michael, who may be Garrett or Sammy. So recently, Freddy Carter's character was revealed to be Michael, which, by the way, in my last video, I nailed! Anyways, I found this interesting clip in the first FNAF movie that kind of implies Vanessa has a brother, where Vanessa is talking to Mike, and she says,
"You and Abby, you still have each other." From where I sit, I'd say you're lucky.
Speaking of Michaels, why is there two of them? Well, this might sound crazy, but I believe it's either to show the two halves of Michael, the good brother and the hero of the MCI, Michael Schmidt, and the Afton son, the follower, the accomplice of Afton, Michael Afton. But I wanted to share a second idea I had in the films. So, in The Twisted Ones, a second Charlie appears in the story and is revealed to be Elizabeth later on in the trilogy. I think the second Mike will be the equivalent of the second Charlie or Elizabeth from the novels who appears in The Twisted Ones. Now wait, I know it's crazy, but before you click off this video, just hear me out for a second. So with all the connections to Afton and Mike that the Schmidts have, that I have accumulated over the years, there's something that really stuck out to me in the FNAF movie novel. There is a moment where William is scolding Michael, and the smell of William brings Mike to a past memory in his old childhood home in the damp dark basement, and how he hated that basement, and how it scared him. Well, wouldn't you know it, in the Charlie trilogy, Henry Emily worked on making Charlie in the basement of his home. What if? That's the special thing William has with Michael, that William built Michael in his basement. Now, I'm not fully on board with this, but it's very possible. So, I want to go back to the deaths that we will see in the film. I believe that the teens who are entering the building filming a film or documentary for Freddy's and the clip with Michael will represent the DCI being teens who broke into Freddy's and were killed by William Afton, who went on to possess the toy animatronics. So, in the end, I think Freddy Carter will be under the alias Jeremy Fitzgerald, and I think he will be revealed to be Michael Afton, the brother of Vanessa, and will be revealed to be controlling the toys. I think Henry will show up and confront Michael Afton for manipulating Charlie and the spirits, and Michael Afton may die and get scooped or injured. Either that or he survives for the third film. So far we have MatPat as the voice of Toy Bonnie. I could totally see Dawko make a cameo appearance again. I really want to see Markiplier. Maybe he could be Mike and Vanessa's waiter or a worker for Freddy's. Another cameo I'd like to see that no one really talks about is Nate Wants to Battle. I love his songs. We also may see JT Music and CG5 because they were recently at a FNAF movie party, and finally, Corey Kenshin back again. Personally, this might sound crazy, but I really don't think anyone is going to die. But if one of the members of the main cast died, I think it would have to be Vanessa or Abby. Why do I say Vanessa or Abby? Well, one of the quotes in the description of the second film says, "This time, there will be no second chances." And given Vanessa survived the first film, and Charlie and the toys are after her, Vanessa might be cooked. And as to why Abby might die, well, the animatronics could try and finish the last job from the first film, where they make Abby one of them. So now I want to talk about the credits and end credits. I think they will play the song It's Been So Long, like in the first film when they played the Five Nights at Freddy's song. I think the end credits could be someone discovering Springtrap's body in a safe room, calling Henry saying, "We found one, a real one." Or even Michael Afton still alive trying to contact his father, like, "The deed has been done, I'm going to come find you." I think that would be really funny and cool. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm super excited for this film in a few weeks, and I can't wait to see what happens. With that being said, I hope you all have a phaserific day. Bye bye.